All right, here's another error I found in CATIA 3D Experience that used to work before. It's not working now. Um, I'm going to change the length to 15, and this changed, and these hole patterns did not. If you look at my patterns, I think that was pattern 2. Under pattern 2, I got a length of 9 inches, and that's 3 inches apart, so that's working fine. I'll go to the second direction, and I'm using instance and length. The instance is 4. I've created a formula so it would do it off the tree. So off the tree, I have number of holes going in the Y direction. For the length, it's saying 13.125, but it's not. This is from here to here is 8 inches. Length is supposed to go from the first hole to the last hole. The last hole would be over here at 13.2125, and then the spacing would automatically get recalculated based on the length divided by the number of instances minus 1. That should all be automatic. That's why this is gray in the spacing, because it will automatically calculate it when you're using instance and length. Again, the instance and length is 13.2125, but it's only staying where it was last at 8. So I'll hit cancel to this. Double click on the pattern. So pattern 1, see it's saying it's 13 here as well. Pattern 3 is saying the same thing, it's 13, but it's not. I'll put this back. Let's actually memorize this. Your regular pattern spacing is 2.7375. Well, if I take out a calculator and I take 13.2125 divided by number of spaces, which is 3, that spacing should have changed to 4.4042, according to that calculator right here. So this math is not doing it. It's taking 8.2125. So when I cancel this and I hit undo, brings it back to where I had my length at 10 inches. And this would make sense because this is 10 inches. I'm about a little more than a half inch from this edge to here and a little more than half inch from this edge to here. So it'll be 8 something. So the distance from this first hole to the last hole will be 8 something. In the pattern, you see that the distance is 8.2125. The spacing is 2.7375. So that never gets recalculated like it's supposed to. So unfortunately, when you're using instance and length, it's not recalculating the spacing for whatever reason. Okay, so again, 13.2125 would be a distance of 4.044. 2.737 is the distance for 8.2125. Okay, so here's this thing here at 2.375, and everything's right. Everything's correct as far as the values go. But when I change my parameter link and change that length to 15, it is indeed 15 inches long. The formula knows it's 15 inches long because when you go into your patterns, it tells you the length is 13.125, which you just saw before was 8.125. So it's resetting the length correctly, but this spacing is not changing. Even though it's grayed out because it's supposed to be automatically calculated, it is not taking the length and dividing it by the equal number of spaces which is the number of instances minus 1. So we have 3 equal spaces when I do a series of 4 holes. If I change the number of holes to 7, it didn't change that. It just kept it at as if it were 8 inches. So this length again is fine if I go to 10. Whoops. Okay. It's all great. It recalculates the spacing, our number of holes, and it keeps them spaced. It recalculated the spacing here fine. It's at 1, 3, 8, 6, 7. But when I go and change the part, again, the length is at 8125. Change this to 15 again. Let's just change it for kicks, just for a bigger number. So I change that to 20. It changes the part to 20. You go into the hole pattern. That spacing still stayed the same at 1368 for the plate being 10 inches wide. You notice that the length now, it went from 8 to 18. So it knows the length is 18 and it knows the instances is 7, yet it's not calculating the distance like it should be. So yet again, another issue with CATIA and these 3D experience simple formulas that worked way back in 1988 just fine, not working now.